Good morning. We are running our way through December. I've been really busy at work, which is not the funnest thing ever. Haven't had time to really watch a whole lot of movies. Didn't feel that well recently, but I did have someone recommend this one to me, and I've never seen it. It's a little bit older, and it sounds like a movie that I wouldn't mind. So I'm surprised kind of that I've never seen it, but ultimately after watching it, you know, it's okay. The movie I'm talking about is called Santa's Sleigh. We got Bill Goldberg from the wrestling world, a big hulking beastly man who is very intimidating looking, but not very intimidating when he speaks. so, um, Immediately when this movie starts off, they make it clear. Shadow, sorry, did I squish you some? Okay. Say hello. There you are. Oh, sorry. Probably being an annoying dad. Anyway, they immediately make it clear that this movie is a joke. It's right away just like. I mean, you'll be surprised at the beginning of it because you're like, I recognize all these people. Incredible. And then, you know, right away, you're like, oh, there'll be some recognizable people in this movie, but they're only in there for a second. And then that part is done. And they move on. Now, it wasn't on my bingo card this year to see Santa Claus spit in ludicrous lyrics while he murders an old woman, but this movie provided that to me. This is like a um like so they played this movie out in a strange way, between him spitting ludicrous lyrics and his constant bantering of silliness, and he's at the strip club, he's killing strippers, and you're like, what is this movie doing? It's just crazy. It's basically, the movie is crazy from the start to the finish. You're just like, what the hell? um his reindeer, which is kind of like a bull in a way, is cool. I thought that was one of the cooler parts of it. um Goldberg really actually has some pretty good comic timing. I think that, like, by the time he was entering into the wrestling world, I was already out of that world, probably by like before even Stone Cold Steve Austin was in there. So I think that was before Goldberg. Before all that stuff, I was out of it. I had some friends who watched Stone Cold specifically for him. So I saw some of that being at people's houses, but by the time I was like 13 or something, I was over wrestling. So I was before all these guys, so I don't know him from wrestling. So I guess I worried that it was going to be like a WWE movie or whatever, and it wasn't going to be a good movie. I mean, let's face it, I don't think most of the time you see a wrestler in a movie, you're like, wow, this is going to be really good. Except for the first one that Kane did, that was pretty good. But in this movie, we got a lot of cameos. They're overall pretty much silly, and if you are a 90s kid, you'll recognize a lot of these people, which that kind of makes it cool. There is pretty bad acting, especially from like the two leads. There's a boy and a girl who are like the main characters of the cast, I guess you would say, and um just neither one of them are very good actors. So that part is, it's supposed to be like a hokey kind of movie, so that's okay in its own way. Um, silly classic horror movie shit. You're about to get killed, you're running, and all of a sudden you're just making out because it seems like the right thing to do. Like, oh, there's shit that makes no sense in here. Some good old fashioned disabled humor. You don't see that kind of stuff in a movie anymore, really. You know, this is the stuff we used to do back in 2005. Just, you see Tiny Zeus Lister has a small part in this thing. I'd love to see him. Rest in peace, sir. That was really nice to see. It was kind of cool to realize that, he did touch little bit parts of all different kinds of movies, and, he's interesting enough. So, I think the worst part of this movie was probably the CGI. You know, I mean, Goldberg's permanent scowl wore on me as the movie went on. At first, I was like, yeah, he's just scowling. And then you realize he doesn't ever stop. He's just scowling through the whole movie. You're like, what the hell? That must have been tough to do. Keep your mouth fixed like that. Like, through the whole fucking film? How much did you guys film? You figure at least like a week, couple weeks, or whatever. I don't know how long it takes to make a movie. Like, that's corny. But walk around for a couple weeks or a couple months going all day long. That must have sucked. So, um, I thought the worst part, I don't know if I've already said this, probably. The worst part of this movie was the CGI, which was just not done well. Luckily, it's pretty minimalized in this movie. There's not a lot of CGI going on, so there's not a lot of what the fuck are these people doing going on. Not too much. There's some, but it's not overwhelming. I thought the winner in this whole thing here was actually the story. I think the story is awesome, and if done better, it would have been probably a good movie. Honestly, I think there's really something there with the idea of, well, I'm not gonna do a no spoiler. Still staying on that. For this second, I'm gonna rate the movie uh 6. We'll give it a 6. I could say that some people, some subset of people, will have fun with this movie. I don't think a lot of people will. It's not a good movie, but it's not horrible. So I'm gonna give it a 6. Now, enjoy your day. For people who do not want to hear a spoiler, for people who do want to hear a spoiler, um, yeah, the idea that Santa was actually uh, some kind of retaliation to Jesus by the devil, who in his turn then got someone pregnant on Earth and had a son who ended up, being relegated by an angel to, deviate the presence among the children of the world and have to listen to all their bullshit. And then every 1,000 years he's released to wreak havoc for one night. And they have to like beat him back into the ground, or every 1,000 years he gets released and they have to beat him back in the ground, or whatever the case was. So it's like that concept is pretty cool. It really is. Like, I was kind of impressed when they went into the bit of lore about it. I was like, I don't know, kind of interesting. You know what I mean? Like, he came to commit all kinds of foul actions on Earth, and then was bound by, you know, the good side of the spiritual warfare on the planet and in the universe. And then, obviously you can only hold it down for so long, and then evil always tries to shoot its ugly head back up. We all know that. And I thought that aspect of it was cool. So, maybe more original little weird stories like that, and we could get something rocking with these movies again. And I don't like this movie. I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But to some subset of people who could enjoy what you just heard, like, give this thing a look, man. You might find yourself having a new Christmas classic that you watch every year. I don't know. Have a good day.